Rick from the Vintage. And I had an interesting thing happen to me the other day. Somebody came to my house and I had this little set of cordial glasses out, and they said, "Oh, what great port glasses those are." So I thought, well, it might be interesting here on the show to just go over the glasses and the different types of glasses that people should use for their wine, because you really do want to know those types of things.
Yes, you do.
So tell us what you got here.
You know what? We've tried to keep it very simple today. So we've picked out the white wine glass.
Okay.
And, you know, it works for any white wine. And it's a little smaller, a little shorter.
Smaller than the red wine glass.
Yes.
That's the key.
And obviously the champagne flute.
Right.
The reasons it's shaped like this is it holds the bubbles in a lot longer.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's very cool.
And I also use a Pinot glass.
Okay.
And this is a Pinot Noir glass or a Burgundy glass.
And you use that for any red wines?
I use it for just Pinot Noir and Burgundy, and it's kind of
Okay.
silly. You can use a red wine glass for Pinot Noir and Burgundy,
Okay.
but I'm so used to using a Pinot glass for Pinot Noir that it's
You keep those separated.
kind of wine snobbish, but
Okay.
I do that. And obviously a red wine glass, which is much bigger, and this is what we use at the Vintage, and it's a Bordeaux glass, so it can be used for.
It's beautiful.
Can be actually used for any white wine.
Okay. Barbara is going to be cooking some pork tenderloin with an Asian peach salsa, and you are going to tell us a great wine to pair with that lovely dish.
Because of the spice in the dish, I've paired it with a Bialy black chicken. It's kind of a higher end Zinfandel, but I really, really like it. It's got a lot of spice. It's got a lot of fruit showing through. I just tasted it a minute ago.
Okay.
It's 15.8 in alcohol, and you really need a lot of fruit and a lot of things going on in the wine to cover that.
Well, let's taste it and see, so we can go let Barbara make the food.
Okay.
It's wonderful as usual. So let's see what Barbara thinks about it when she pairs it with that pork tenderloin. So I'm back with Rick from the Vintage with another great wine tip and another great wine and food pairing. Now Barbara's out on the patio and she's grilling some artichokes, and she plans to serve a cheese plate with a variety of Spanish cheeses. So you are going to tell us what kind of wine we would have with those cheeses.
Well, me and Barbara talked about this morning. She told me what the cheeses were, and they're Spanish cheeses, so we decided to go with a Spanish red wine.
Now that's interesting to me, because normally I would pair white wine with cheese.
Okay.
So if it's a Spanish cheese, maybe a Spanish red wine?
You know, I really think that the red wine will hold up with the harder cheeses.
Well, I guess in a little bit we're going to go out there and find out, aren't we?
We will.
I have an interesting question for you, though, because I really want our viewers to learn more about wine, and I want to learn more about wine because I love it. So I hear a lot about corked wine, and I'm wondering, what is a corked wine, and how do you tell if you got one?
Corked wine is when TCA gets into the cork and then is transferred to the wine. And a wine that's really corked, you're going to get a musty smell on the nose. You can even smell the bottle, and you can get this musty smell. So that's an extremely corked wine. The TCA levels are high.
So when you open a bottle of wine, is that why
Yes.
people smell it first to see
Yes.
if it's corked?
Yes, at the store we always smell every bottle to make sure it's not corked.
And it would smell musty. Okay.
But the real problem is that sometimes the TCA levels are really low, and you don't get the musty smell, but the wine, the fruit just isn't coming through, and it just tastes like not a very good wine.
Oh.
And it really creates problem in the wine business, because if you've never had the wine before, then you're blaming the winemaker.
You just think it's a bad wine,
Yes.
and so you never buy it again.
Right.
So how often do you get a corked bottle of wine?
You know, the claim in the industry is maybe 1 out of 12 has
That's
some
actually pretty
level of
high.
TCA, but a lot of times it's not noticeable. We probably get 1 out of 50 at the store.
Wow, that's amazing. It's so great to have a wine expert around.
Thank you.
Let's go see what Barbara's grilling. Well, I'm having so much fun with Rick tonight from the Vintage, and I have but yet another question for you. I always open wine, and then I don't drink it all, and then 2 days later it doesn't taste the same, and I'm dumping out really good bottles of wine. I'd like to say I could drink it all, but I can't normally. So I'm wondering, what should I be doing with my leftover wine?
Well, there's 2 simple solutions. One is a vacuum system, where we're going to put a vacuum on the bottle and remove some of the oxygen, because that's what's causing the problem, is the oxygen in the bottle oxidizing the wine. So we've got the vacuum system.
So you vacuum it out and then you put the cork back in? Okay.
No, leave the cork that comes with the vacuum system in.
Oh, it's all one piece.
And then put it back in the refrigerator. You always want to put it in the refrigerator, because that chills it and that will reduce the
Even if
oxidation.
it's red wine? You want to save it, the leftover wine, in the refrigerator? Oh, I wasn't
Yeah,
doing that.
You can always bring it out ahead of time, maybe a half hour before, and warm it back up.
Oh, this is a good show for me.
Great.
Okay, what else can I do?
And the other is a nitrogen. argon mixture. It comes in a can. You spray it in the bottle, put the cork back in, and it creates a barrier between the nitrogen or between the oxygen and the wine.
Now, should you put the original cork back in or a stopper?
The original cork can go back in with the nitrogen argon.
Now, Barbara's cooking up some Boursin stuffed chicken with a limoncello reduction. What wine are we going to pair with that tonight?
Well, I picked a Michael Pazan Sauvignon Blanc from Lake County. I really like this Sauvignon Blanc. It's got pear flavors. It's got a hint of green apple, which means it has just a little bit of acidity. But it's just a wonderful wine, and I think it'll pair really well.
And that's why you chose it to go with that chicken?
Yes.
Now, Barbara taught me how to make that Boursin stuffed chicken, and I make it at home all the time. I absolutely love it. So I know what it tastes like. So let's see if this wine's going to go well.
Okay, and the wine comes from Lake County.
Oh, that's fabulous, actually.
Isn't
This is
it?
going to be great with the chicken. I bet Barbara's going to agree.
I think she will.
So definitely when people come to you at the Vintage, they can ask you all types of questions, even additional questions that I didn't ask you tonight. But you guys are the experts.
Yes.
And people should stop in and learn everything they want to know about wine.
We help people pair wine every day.